What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Point Leader 75. Today we're taking a look at Crown model number 17. I know I skipped a few models since I made the last video, but I've been struggling really hard to really make something stand out a little bit more than just making another car. So this is gonna be a sort of like a middle-aged Christ gentleman car that not necessarily focus on being the fastest or the most extreme in any way. It's more focused on the drivability and having fun, and sometimes, as you all know, less is more, and this is definitely the case. The body itself is not too exciting or too beautiful. It's just a body style that I picked and then try to mold it into something okay-ish and something unique at the same time. So it's not necessarily focused on design or anything like that. It's just a very plain and simple car, but it has some nice interesting features, especially on the bonnet there, as you can see. And well, let's get it started and give it a spin on the Italian roads and see how it does. And as opposed to everything else, this car is going to be shown on the handling course by the end of the video, so I'm not going to comment anything by then, but prior to that video I'll talk a little bit about it. So let's start it up. It's a V6 natural aspirated, 3 liters, so no turbo here, it's just pure driving experience. And it's sequential, so there's no automatic here. And see how many times you're gonna have to reset the car. It is BeamNG after all, so crashes are a part of the game, so I'm not gonna exclude them from the videos either. So perfection depends on how you look at it, but it's definitely gonna be interesting to experience the car for the first time. It's actually my first time driving it now on the Italian roads, by the way, so you guys are gonna be with me as we experience the car. It revs to it redlines at 7,000 RPMs, so it's not crazy in any way, but it is very well balanced. A bit low, so it'll definitely hit the bumps in the roads. If you're not too careful, you might damage it. Getting the feel for how hard I have to brake, obviously they're pretty effective. And I made it so that you actually see the badge on the hood there, which is pretty neat, given that you are forced to, well, not forced, but if you want to have anywhere close to the driver position, with the car coming from automation into BeamNG, you'll have to be in the hood view. So with that in mind, I made things interesting from all sorts of angles when it came to the design. And you can be very gentle on the brakes, they're definitely effective. Ceramic brakes, of course, so to be optimized, at least they take a little bit of a warming up as usual, but yeah, you all know that by now. I'm not going to over push it, I'm just going to get the feel for the car and a more normal drive style, the way I would probably drive it in real life. And this is probably a little bit faster than I would do it anyways. It does have a vicious slip differential, so not really optimized for racing or anything like that. It's just a bit more predictable, the way you're used to at the post if you're coming from a normal car. Either that, or you sometimes go for something like a open clip differential. Either way. But that's the thing as well with this car. I wanted it to feel more like a normal car, a bit on steroids, not necessarily trying to be the fastest or the most extreme or in any way. It's just the middle-age crisis sports car. Oh, you really have to be careful there. Okay, so it's not gonna have that extreme precision in the steering. It does have a little bit of a sway to it, but it's like I said, it's not a pure racer in any way. So you really have to work with the suspension to feel the transition of the weight to be able to work with it. And let's see how it does on the highway. So yeah, by the way, all the squeaking you'll hear from my backup steering wheel is gonna be gone pretty soon. I ordered a replacement for the power supply that broken on my high-end steering wheel, so soon enough it'll be quite quiet, a bit more quieter anyways. So you won't be able to hear the steering wheel from the higher end one. It's a lot quieter. And that's all due to the fact that, well, I mentioned that in an earlier video as well, but the fact that lately I removed the computer out of the equation, sort of like out of the room from where I'm sitting now. So it's actually in the next room, behind the wall here. So that way, fans or anything doesn't go straight into my studio microphone. So that's the thing of a past. But instead you get all sorts of other sounds, like the more plastic backup steering wheel I have here in the background. Still a Fanatec and still higher, a medium end at least, where you have a belt-driven gear inside of it instead of a bunch of cogs making buzzing sounds, but it can get quieter. Alright, so you have to really be cautious there when you brake in the corners. They are quite snappy, that's for sure. But that's better than having faded brakes, or brakes that fades. So at least have that the ability to brake hard when you really have to. So I suppose in a way it's a better option in the long run. Oh yeah, and also to mention that I am working on optimizing things back to the standards where I used to have them, back at least 2.5K or 4K videos, and we'll see how things goes. I switched to my 27-inch monitor in front of the steering wheel now, which as opposed to the TV I had before, this one is more it's a 4K monitor, so that allows me to be back on the road, sort of thing, with 4K videos again. But again, that also puts a bit of a toll on the system, even though I have Titan X card. But 4K is always a challenge regardless, to really get it really good. Oh. And I have no idea what just happened there. I think it's the steering wheel. It just cut out the steering input there all of a sudden in the middle of the corner. Didn't matter how much I was steering. It was like I wasn't steering at all. that's the thing as well. I have no idea what you guys want to see in the future. Obviously, I'm going to do whatever I enjoy to do anyways, but it's always nice to get a little bit of a feedback from you guys in terms of what you guys want to see in the future. Me personally, I've been working, like I said, pretty hard on trying to find my way with my whole imaginary brand Crown, which is what I call all my imaginary cars, to what could be interesting and useful as well. I mean, it's as you all know, we don't have a whole lot of cars being up to modern eras coming from BeamNG in stock, so it's always nice to have a little bit of a variety, and that's also the part that I'm thinking, is that I have actually created a whole bunch of family cars and what might be considered as boring cars to even showcase on YouTube. But I don't know about you guys, maybe you want to see it anyways, to see maybe there's some part of the building process as well, I don't know. Because currently I've only been showing the driving part of it for the most part, but needless to say is that the videos are going to be quite a bit longer if I am going to implement the building part as well, because I don't want to cut it out if I do show that or that, but because I am pretty picky when it comes to details, and I'm pretty picky when it comes to not leaving things out. As with everything I do, I try to make it to certain standards, with, well, actually pretty high standards. And that's the thing, especially when it comes to driving the cars, is that what I've noticed is that, having watched a lot of videos on BeamNG and automation and all that stuff, is that not a whole lot of people actually use a steering wheel, and a good one, which I find very funny or weird, because, like I said, BeamNG is almost a full-blown simulator in my opinion, and that's from someone who comes from driving iRacing, Sorta Corsa a whole lot. I've been hosting about 12 servers for Sorta Corsa for a long period of time, and I have thousands of hours driving in there. Just like this, but also in VR, and with a full-blown rig. I mean, I have everything hard-mounted, proper seating, steering wheels hard-mounted to a rock-solid platform, pedals and everything, shifters even hard-mounted as well. So I'd say that BeamNG is actually almost my new preferable simulator in that way, because not only do I get to drive in a very realistically simulated game where you have sort of like everything, like suspension, airflow and all that stuff simulated properly, but also I get to build my own cars and test them out and learn something in the process. There's always something new to learn, and being all crazy about cars, you know, like that's hey, what more could you wish for, really? So for the handling course, that's the handling course coming along with the automation test track, where you get to try the cars and see how they drive on sort of like a short sprint circuit with a lot of corners rather than straights. And so for this car, I'm going to show that at the very end of the video, and that's going to wrap it up pretty much, as opposed to what I've done earlier, because that one takes a little bit more concentration, and I figured, okay, I'm going to do that run without trying to do any commentary and really focus on showing you guys what the car really can do. and then some. I also have another video I'm gonna make shortly. Is a Ferrari-ish natural aspirated V8 engine that I made, kind of based on a Ferrari in a way, only that I made some of my own touch to it. But that thing pretty much broken the automation test handle course lap time, I think, in a lot of categories, because it's down at 1 minute 11 seconds, which is almost about to hit my goal, which is going to be below 1 minute and 10 seconds for that track. And I'm not too far off from it. I might actually be able to pull it up with that car if I just give it some more time. But I'm gonna probably just upload that car or that run separately. But that car, we'll see if there's any interest of you guys want to see it, maybe on the BeamNG resources for download, that is. But for now I'll keep it to myself, because I am still developing the evolution version of it, which can have like 30% more horsepower. But that is subject to a lot more challenges, of course, when it comes to really properly fine-tuning it. And well, there you go. That's not too bad. I mean, we do hit down the tray a little bit, but not to the point where it's really too much of a bother. Although I wouldn't want to do that with my real car, for sure. I really love the third gear. Just cruising on the third gear and really being able to use all the revs, the really long gear. Oops, almost messed it up there. And we're about to loop back to the village where we started. It's going to be up on the hill ahead of us here. And with that having said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell as well if you wanna follow up and see what's coming up next. And I'll wrap up the whole video with a showcase, doing two laps on the automation test track handle course with this car, and give you guys a little nice end of the video with this car. And it's not going to be with any commentary on that thing. Alright, so we're going to pull up to the castle. We're actually inside the castle yard here, so. And this, of course, is a road legal car, so it's very nice to just cruise around and explore. See if we can make the turn here without scratching the wall. We stalled the engine. That's the thing as well, if you're using clutch pedal and all that stuff, make sure you always want to start, if you're going to start very gentle on the first gear, you always want to make sure that you use your clutch with care, because you are going to stall the engine. I think we're going to have to back up a little bit here. Not going to make the full circle. And there we go. Alright, so finish things off with a nice little rev. And I'll see you guys on the automation test handle course, and that's it. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell in order to catch up with future events. Thanks for watching.